All right, we do want to get back to that breaking news we brought you in our first hour. Special counsel John Durham ending his probe of the FBI's investigation into Trump's ties to Russia, concluding the Bureau never should have launched that investigation in the first place. The report concluding his 4-year investigation into possible misconduct by the FBI during its probe into ties between the former president's 2016 campaign and Russia. So here to help us break down the report is NewsNation Washington Bureau Chief Mike Viqueira. Vic, thank you for joining us on this breaking news. So Durham concluding that the Justice Department and FBI, quote, failed to uphold their important mission of strict fidelity to the law. That is a pretty significant statement, probably an understatement on my part. Talk about the major takeaways from this report.
Well, it is withering scorn for the FBI and the events and the logic and the reasoning that led up to that investigation called Crossfire Hurricane. Remember, that's the investigation that the FBI launched into the Trump campaign and purported supposed collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia in the 2016 election. Obviously, we have known for some years that that collusion has never been proven. The Mueller report pointed that out to us. And an internal Inspector General report, the Department of Justice has also criticized the way the FBI launched this investigation. But this is John Durham now. The special prosecutor, remember, he was a U.S. attorney in the state of Connecticut appointed to look into the FBI's handling of this in the aftermath of the Mueller report, after the allegations against the Trump campaign had largely fallen apart. And he does have some withering scorn for the FBI. He says the FBI never should have launched the probe, and the FBI's used, quote, raw, unanalyzed, and uncorroborated intelligence to launch Crossfire Hurricane. He also says that FBI personnel used a serious lack of analytical rigor towards the information that they reviewed, and they listened to information from people with political bias and entities with political bias. And of course, it was Christopher Steele, the very shady British individual who had connections to the FBI and American law enforcement here in the United States, who was the source of that so-called Steele dossier that has been debunked over the course since the 2016 election. In 2017, just before the Trump inauguration, when it first surfaced. So we're putting a closing chapter now on the entire episode of Crossfire Hurricane and all of the controversy that was launched in the 26 campaign, all of the accusations of collusion, which were never proven between the Trump campaign and Russia, even though it was proven that Russia did try to aid President Trump, then candidate Trump, during that campaign. So 306 pages, 4 years almost to the day, Nichole, since John Durham was appointed. Today puts a final coda on his investigation.
Vic, one quick question for you. What does this mean moving forward? Because, as you said, this allegations of the 2016 campaign. We now have the 2024 campaign.
Right.
Ahead of us, we have Trump, who has absolutely declared himself as a candidate. I have to imagine he is going to hold on to this tightly and, yell it to the world.
Well, again, there's nothing new in this report, really, in terms of factual accusations or the implication of any criminality at all. This is his evaluation of the way the FBI handled the investigation, an evaluation, again, that is quite harsh towards the FBI and its top people. The FBI, since this report has been released just a couple of hours ago, has its own statement where they essentially say in a long memo, and they did get an advance copy of this, as did the Attorney General Merrick Garland, who reportedly read it over the weekend. But the FBI says, look, we made changes to address all of the shortcomings that Durham has talked about. We made these changes years ago. They point to that Office of Inspector General report from 3 or 4 years ago that also pointed out some of the faults of these investigations. And we should also point out that John Durham had his day in court. He brought 3 cases to court. Only one of them ended up with a plea bargain and community service. The other 2 were dismissed or acquitted. The defendants were acquitted by a jury. So Durham did not have success in trying to prove any criminality, but leaves us with this very, very voluminous report, I should say, that has withering scorn for the FBI. Nichole.
It certainly does. NewsNation Washington Bureau Chief Mike Viqueira, we thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.